right. So today I want to share some different information from what I have shared in the past when I've been with this group and other groups. Um, so I want to follow on to the work that you were just doing and talk about wounding. It's like, we know that these wounds hold us back in so many areas of our life. They kind of keep us stuck, they keep us crippled, they keep us from really being the best that we can be for each one of us. But where do they come from? How did it happen? And why would we do that to ourselves? Because, we're responsible and accountable, and we've created these wounds, with our own thoughts. And unfortunately, we did it unwittingly in most cases. Sometimes we inherited the wounds from ancestors or other lifetimes. But what happens is, and I'll try to make it in a nutshell, and then we'll do some healing work around that. But what happens is that our body is listening all the time, wherever we are, whatever we're doing. And our body knows every other body in the universe. I mean, they're all best friends because they've been together a lot. Um, and so if you may not be aware of stuff that's happening, your body certainly is. And I'm going to give you an example. So let's imagine that we're at a meeting in a large room, and there are, let's say, 100 people here. And you walk into the room, and maybe you're feeling a little bit insecure about being with this many people and a lot of people you don't know, and whatever else, it brings up all that stuff about imposter syndrome. Am I good enough? Blah, blah. Okay, so you walk into the room, and somewhere on the other side of the room, a person sees you walk in, and they say, or think even, they don't even have to say it out loud, they think something derogatory about you. Perhaps out of jealousy, perhaps out of misinformation, or maybe they're just not a happy person to begin with. But let's just say that I'm walking into the room and somebody goes, "Ah, there's that Jeanne again, and what a tacky shirt she has on today." I would never hear that because I would be on the opposite side of the room, totally out of earshot, lots of noise, a lot of stuff in between. My body hears it all. And here's where the wounds get started. So at that point, the body has a choice. Am I just going to say, that was that person's opinion and it's certainly not true about me, and let it go? But it happened. Or am I going to take it personally and begin to think about it? Wow, I wonder if she's true, if what she thinks is true, and maybe I'm not pretty enough. Maybe I should never have worn this outfit. It's just not flattering because she said it wasn't, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the wounding starts way out in your aura at that point where your body connected with that other body and heard what that person said or realized what that person thought. So if the choice is to let it go, there will never be a wound created. But if the choice is to hold on to it and start to think about it, that wound is beginning to form, and it's way out in your aura, probably in your spiritual, energetic body on the other side of the room. And if you keep thinking about it, you still have a chance to let it go. Yeah, you know what? I've thought that over, and that was wrong. She wasn't right. So I'm not that. So I'm going to let it go. But if you don't, you bring it closer to you, and it's, it was in the mental body when you were thinking about it. It's in the emotional body when you start feeling about it and your feelings get hurt. You're like, oh, this makes me shamed. This makes me sad. This makes me angry. Feelings begin to glom on to this piece of energy that came floating at you from somebody you didn't even know on the other side of the room. And you can let it go there, or you can bring it inside the body. And that's when the wound gets implanted. And the body's very organized about where it will put these wounds. It's going to put them in one of your chakras, or it's going to put them in an acupuncture meridian point somewhere on your body. And guess what? Chakras and acupuncture meridian points are all associated with organs and glands. So if you hang on to these things and you let them get inside you and become things, lumps, growths, whatever, you can make yourself sick. So emotional, mental, and spiritual wounds can also become physical wounds if you don't deal with them. So why wouldn't you deal with them? Today I'm going to talk to you about some tools that you can use for your own self to deal with these wounds that might be mental, emotional, or spiritual, or physical. And you have to fix them where they were created. So I can't fix today what happened 2 years ago in that meeting when the lady talked about my tacky shirt. But I can go back because there's no such thing as time. And I can become that me in that moment and deal with whatever this is and let it go. So it's really easy and it's beautiful. And the tool that I use personally is the tool that I developed. It's called InnerSpeak. It's a language of the soul. It's a language that allows your soul to communicate with you at a conscious level so that you can find those wounds and deal with them and release them and heal yourself. Now, many years ago, actually in 2002, when I had an enlightenment experience and received all of this information, I didn't really quite know what to do with it. I started trying to take it out to the masses, but the masses didn't understand it. And it was a struggle because I didn't know how to get people to avail themselves of the gift that I've been given. So it's taken me a good 20 plus years to begin to figure this out. And also, it's taken me that long for people to raise their consciousness up enough that they're willing to deal with their stuff and become accountable, responsible, and let it go. Because we were sent here to be beings of love and to enjoy life and enjoy life abundantly. Masters throughout the ages have told us that. So let's talk about InnerSpeak. What is it? It's a tool that will take you to the point where you created the wound. And you don't need to know where that point is because the tool is just going to take you there and give you what you need to know to weave a healing story and to let it go so that it doesn't come all the way into the physical body and make you sick or block your finances or cause a car wreck, or a train wreck in your life. We want to do this before that stuff happens. So it's a book of 144 files of information. Each file has 36 pieces of information in it. And I use muscle testing or kinesiology to work with a client to let their higher self say the information that needs to be known for that person at that time in order to help them release whatever's holding them back. And so I was struggling, and I struggled for a goodly number of years. And finally, one day, my guide, who actually is the one that brought InnerSpeak to me, Archangel Michael, came to me and he said, Jeanne, you could write a book about this, but nobody's going to read it. Why don't you make a deck of cards? Because people love to play with cards, and I'll show you how to do it. So out of that came a deck of cards that I call the InnerSpeak cards. And they're available on Amazon, they're available on my website. But what they are a very small subset of the big InnerSpeak process that will enable you, in the comfort of your own home all by yourself, to deal with your own wounds. So it's a pretty simple process, and I'm going to demonstrate it for you. There are 7 different little decks of cards inside the box. The red deck is where you created the problem for yourself. The orange deck is what happened. The yellow deck is what did this do to your soul. The blue deck is a stuck belief that happened at the time you created the wound that needs to be acknowledged and released. The green deck are the clearings that you're going to do to let it go. The violet deck are blessings that you get from the angels for doing the work. and doing the work for yourself to heal yourself. And then there's a seventh deck, indigo, and these are just locations. So turn it right side up, where a lifetime took place if the source is a past life. So what I want to do today is demonstrate this for you to show you how easy it is to clear old wounds and to let yourself move forward. So what I want to work on today is whatever is holding us stuck in financial lack and fear. So let's just take a moment, surrender to Spirit, and ask for help to do that. And I'm just going to say a little prayer. Mother, Father God, I lift up to you this amazing group, and I ask that we be taken to the source of whatever it is that needs to be released so that we can let go of blocks on our financial prosperity and blocks that are keeping us in fear. Thy will, not my will, be done. Okay, so now I'm going to work with the red deck first, and I'm just going to shuffle them a little bit and get old energy off of these cards. Okay, and I am going to pick a card. Let's see, it's this one right here. Guess what it says? Self-sabotage to avoid transforming. Okay, well, I'm going to pick another card to get us a little bit more information. And we know we always do it to ourselves, but let's see why, where we got the idea for this pattern. And this one is jumping out at me. It says parallel or future life. So what this means is that this is an obstacle that we've created for ourselves in another dimension because we're multidimensional beings. I don't know how many dimensions we exist in, but over 100 probably at the same time. And so in some other dimension, we have created this thing about lack and blocking our money and blocking our joy. And it is bleeding over into the now moment where we are now. And we need to get out of resonance with that and heal it over there in that other dimension so that it doesn't make that train wreck I talked about earlier for us in our life. All right, next deck, orange. This is the setup. This is what's going on with an aspect of our soul in another dimension. So let me shuffle it up a little bit, and I'm going to pick two of the orange cards. These are the setup. And it's this one right there, and this one right here. Okay, so what it says is betrayal, being lied to or lying. And this one says being punished for something we didn't do, punished for another person's misdeeds. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Or is it just me? All right, the yellow cards. This is what this has done to this aspect of our soul in another dimension, and it's how we're being impacted. So let me shuffle them up a little bit, and I'm going to pick a yellow card. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It says, our inflow, money, love, and creativity has been shut down. You saw it. I picked it. All right. And there is a stuck belief. The blue cards. Let me shuffle them up so that you know I'm not faking this. Okay, and it's this one. The stuck belief is, I'm not taken seriously. Nobody takes me seriously. Okay, so we've got a frame of reference for clearing this. Let's do it. We got green cards. Ba-ding. So you shuffle up the green cards. And I'm going to pull three. I'm just letting my higher self guide me as to what we as a group need to do in order to be able to clear up this mess that's being created in another lifetime. I mean, another dimension. Okay, so we're going to do that one, this one, and that one. Okay, the very first one that I picked says connect heart to heart with this person in another dimension, this aspect of myself, and ask, what can I do to help them? So just close your eyes and go find an aspect of yourself in another dimension that has shut down their money, their creativity, their flow, because they don't think they're being taken seriously, and because they've been betrayed, they've been lied to, and they've been punished for things they didn't do. So go find this piece of your soul, connect heart to heart, and ask, what can I do to help you? Okay, what my aspect said was help me to get over it. And you all, I'm sure everybody got something different. Okay, so the next card says call in an angel and ask for help. So the angel that I'm going to suggest that we call in is an angel by the name of Stamera. Stamera is the angel of forgiveness. So I want you to invite Stamera to be present with this aspect of you in another dimension and to counsel that aspect and support that aspect in forgiving whoever it was that betrayed them, all the people that didn't take them seriously, and everybody that punished that person for things they didn't do. So just invite Stamera to go be present in another dimension and help an aspect of your soul. Okay. And now the next card says to confront yourself in a mirror. And it says to have the old identity shatter, to reveal who you really are. So what this means is that we're each wearing a mask that belongs to this aspect of our soul in another dimension. It's really not our mask. But rather than shatter it, I'm going to take a little bit more gentle approach. Imagine you're looking at yourself in a mirror and see yourself overshadowed by this being who can't receive. And I want you to just from your heart in love, blow gently on the image on that mirror. So you blow away the mask so that you can see who you really are, the beautiful being of light that you are. And that restores you back into your essence, not a wrong essence, if you will. Not, wrong is probably not a good word for that, but yeah. So that you're out of resonance with lack and blocked inflow. And for having the courage to show up today and to do this work, you're going to get blessings from the angels. And those are the violet cards. So I'm going to pick 3 of those so that we all get blessings. This one, and this one. So the first blessing that we're each receiving for doing this work is a healing. Healing from your awakened inner. The second blessing is a blessing of union and the ability to receive, to accept love from yourself, from your body, from Creator God, Mother, Father, God, from your family, from a partner, union. And the third blessing is courage to follow your heart's command so that you can go make what you want happen in your reality. And it's gratitude that owns every clearing. So just take a moment now and give thanks. Give thanks to Mother, Father, God, to your angels, teachers, and guides. Give thanks to your higher self. Give thanks to your body and your body's higher self. Give thanks to your team and your body's team. And I ask that all of our reference points and grids are updated. I ask for a balancing and a stabilization of our fields and all systems, levels, and components of our being. And I ask that we're all now wrapped in sheets of rainbow light, gently sealing all of this in to whatever degree is appropriate for your spiritual evolutionary state. So be it, and so it is. And a lot of people ask me, why do you do that at the end? If you don't update your reference points in your grids, when you do a clearing on yourself and you don't do that, it's like you're looking at the world through an old prescription set of eyeglasses and you didn't swap it out for the new prescription. The outer world is going to look exactly the same as it did before you did the clearing work. So always, whenever you're working on yourself, remember to ask the universe to update your reference points and update your grids. It's very simple, and it'll make a huge difference in all the work that you do. So my free gift to you today is I've taken these cards, the ones that I told you can get on Amazon or on my website, and I've actually automated them into an online tool. It's like a game. And I'm going to give each of you a free month subscription to the online version of the InnerSpeak cards. All you got to do is send me an email, Jeanne@JeanneAdrienne.com, and just ask me. Say you saw me on the show today and you would like your free subscription, and you can use those cards for a month. But I'm going to tell you, don't do it more than once a day, because you've got to honor your body. And if you can overwork your body, and you can throw yourself into a healing crisis if you do too much work too fast. This is not a race. This is a process. And you got all the time in the world. And I'm going to give you a free month to do that. If you decide to continue this subscription, it's $9.99 for an unlimited forever subscription to the cards. So that's my gift for you today. I'll tell you more about that at the end. But I want to do a little bit more healing work for you today with your DNA, because that's one of the things that my guides gave me as a job to do. I was minding my own business, driving my car one day, and because a lot of my good information comes when I drive, and my guides told me that they wanted to talk to me about DNA. And they told me that at some point in the evolution of the human species, we had 144 strands of DNA. We were meant to be immortals. And at some point, another species that was dying, they'd rendered themselves sterile because they became too technological. And they were dying away, and so they got in their little traveling vehicles, whatever, we'll call them a spaceship, and they began searching the universes, and they found this beautiful blue planet that had a species on it that had 144 strands of DNA. And they came here, they worked with us, and we worked with them willingly, even though a lot of people want to talk conspiracy theory about this. We did this in love to help them out. And when they left, we had 2 strands of DNA, and they had what they needed to heal their species, and they are still in existence. And we didn't know that associated with every strand of DNA is one of our spiritual gifts. So we gave away our gifts when we gave away our DNA. And so my guide said, it's time for us to have that back, because we are now at that place where we've all been waiting for, where our consciousness is going high and we're ascending to where we've always wanted to be. But we need to have all of our tools. We need to have all of our gifts with us. And so they told me that my job was to draw 142 pictures that would each hold the frequency of a latent strand of DNA, and make these available to people to activate their own DNA. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm just going to pull random. Here's an example. This is the DNA strand of astonishment. And what it says is that this attribute enables you to appreciate even the smallest wonder you perceive. Your childlike innocence is restored. That's this one. So I want you to invite your higher self to work with the energetic fields and the guides to activate the DNA strand of astonishment within you, your body, and your teams. And let me pull another one. Actually, 2 came out. The next one is joy. This says, with this activation, your divine nature is restored and the feelings of joy become fixed in your field. So let's ask our higher selves to work with the energetic fields and the guides to activate the DNA strand of joy in our divine line. Same for our body, same for our team. And the other one that came out was this one. This is the DNA strand of embodiment. And it says, you are the embodiment of a unique aspect of Source. You are one with the I Am, and this activation enables you to be the power that is your divine birthright. Invite your higher self to activate the DNA strand of embodiment in your divine line. Same for your body, same for your team. And let's also ask that our reference points and grids be updated. Let's ask for a balancing and a stabilization of our fields as well. So, how are you guys feeling? I guess you're all on mute, so you can't answer me, but I'm hoping that you're feeling much better with this work. So I want to invite you to be very gentle with yourselves, because you need to process this. You need to allow your body the time that it takes to fully integrate this really powerful work that we've done. I mean, it may seem like it's very easy, but it's deep, I promise you. So I'm going to kind of do sort of a recap of what Andra did. I'm going to explain to you how are the different ways that you can work with me. I work with individuals every day. I work on Zoom, and feel free to book a session with me. A session with me takes about an hour, and it's $144. One of the deepest ways to work with me is through my mentorship program. And that's going to be 12 weeks or 12 sessions, because the sessions build on each other. So you can find all this on my website. I have a group called Thrive. It's the first Saturday of every month. It's $44 just to join. And I do a group session using the full version of the work, not the cards, for the group that comes together on Thrive. So that's a third way. And then if this is something that really speaks to your heart and you want to learn how to do it, I teach this. The teaching is in two phases. I teach first kind of general how to use the work and a small subset of the files. I don't lay all 144 of them on you at once because that would be overwhelming. And you practice with that for a while. And then if you want to take it deeper, then you can come back for the second level of the class. And when you graduate from the second level of the class, you're able to teach the first level to others. So these are the different ways that you can work with me. And I hope to see you again in the future. And again, send me an email, jeanne@jeanneadrienne.com, and tell me that you want your subscription. And I'd be happy to give you a link. So it's been great fun working with you today. I hope that everybody receives everything their heart desires out of all of the speakers.